Alright guys, so here's a review of the Mac MR Schwing 47M pumper, and this is a very large pumper. The cab on the front isn't the most detailed because they do make a more detailed one, but what's on the back of the model definitely makes up for it, because this pumper right here is just huge and it makes my other one look tiny. So to start off, you can see it's a twin steer, and I'm not really the biggest fan of trucks nor twin steers, but the twin steer feature adds a great feature to it. Now I don't know if it's just mine or all of them, but these don't steer exactly perfect, and I'm not sure if it's mine or not, because my cab is, I don't know if you can tell, but it's not straight and it turns a little, so I don't know if the model's a little messed up. And if you could see, when you go to drive forward, one wheel turns left, one wheel turns right, and vice versa for both axles. So anyway, you can see the cab is typical Mac cab like you'll see on some sanitation trucks or whatever. Not really too much to say on the front. Metal bumper, metal cab, plastic insert. It's got just 2 seats and a steering wheel. And I do have to say though, this is a huge glass front cab. Probably the biggest I've seen on a model truck. The mirrors on the model are kind of big. Nothing crazy. I wish that they gave the option to come on and off though. I take it that this model is made by Conrad. It doesn't seem like it, but it is. I don't know, something about it. Cab tilts down to reveal the engine. Nothing crazy. And you can see it's got the mud flaps and the air intake and the exhaust. The wheels, like I said, are a little messed up. I don't know what it is about them. You can see underneath. They turn perfect when they're underneath, but when you add weight onto it, it messes them up. Back, like so, you can see it just really, I don't know what the hell's with them. Back tires, nothing really different. Now to get onto the actual pumper. The pumper itself is 47 meters, which means it's around 150 feet, little less. And you can see the livery on this one. I like this livery better than my other smaller pumper, so that it does add a plus to it, plus the fact that it's bigger. And main reason why I like the livery better is not because it's less colors, but because of the actual colors. I think the colors match very nicely. All the outriggers are huge, naturally, because the pumper itself is big. You can see this one is just massive, much bigger than my other one, and this one is also very large. And for some reason, which it's the complete opposite of the other one, the front one in length is smaller than the back one, and I don't know if that's because I extend this one too much, but it seems this one's much bigger. And I'm not going to actually extend them for the review because the model itself really doesn't need it for the review purpose. But one bad thing about this is the screw down part of the outrigger that I'm touching right now. It's long enough to stabilize the truck, but it can't lift it off the ground too much, so you have to put wood timbers underneath it. The model itself, the carrier, is very detailed. You can see that the diamond plate texture on the fender, and it's also up top over there, but I'll get to that when I raise the actual boom on the truck. I'll zoom out here and show you the span of the outriggers. You know, decent, really nice. And there's the hopper and the motor that would push the concrete and the pipe that leads up to it. There you can see more of the diamond plate. So now to get to the model itself, and I'll extend the boom, which is huge. So to raise this boom, what you actually have to do first is extend this a little and then raise up on this. And you can see it's loose, and there's one thing really bad about this model compared to my other one. The cylinders on this one aren't the best, and I have a feeling it's not the actual cylinders, but it's because of the weight of the boom, because it's so large. If they could fix it, probably not, but I have a feeling it's because of the weight of the boom. The next thing that obviously is completely their fault is the rivets aren't the right size, and the one thing that makes that bad is exactly this. You can see the cylinder isn't moving, but the boom is, because the rivets are too small and there's just too much movement in it. And it really does take away from the model. You'd expect of a model of this size to be perfect, but it's not because of that. And I really have to say it does take away from it. I usually don't like to talk bad about certain models, but it really does take away from it. You could see just right there. So that's one bad thing about it. And you can see the size of that cylinder is just huge. And extend that out and then fold this down, and there you got your 150 feet of boom. So top of the carrier, diamond plate texture. It's got the motors in here and everything. Railing, which is plastic. Oddly, this model is produced by the same people that make the other pumper, and these railings are metal. So I don't understand why, but that's just the way they are. And the turntable for the boom, which does have a little problem moving when you leave the boom by itself. But when you take all the weight off it, because naturally all the weight on it makes it hard to move, it turns perfectly, and that'll spin a 360 like the other one. The cylinder, which is huge, very, very large, and that holds up the entire boom of the model, so naturally it would be that large. Slight color difference, but you could barely tell. Barely noticeable at all. I'm gonna have to turn it so you can see the piping on the boom. So, see the white hose that leads up from the turntable? Goes up through there, and it's got the Schwing decal on it. You can see it. Underside of the boom, you know, fine really. It doesn't bother me at all. And this is a pretty hard review to make because of the size of the model and the abnormal size. But I'll put it just like that. And instead of going over each knuckle on the boom, each knuckle is perfect. It folds perfectly. You can see that'll fold straight, and then this one will fold straight. So every knuckle on the model is perfect. See, you can see this one folds down, and also fold like this, which obviously in real life wouldn't go, but it does on the model. We'll fold down. You got to go deep, and you could see from the weight of the boom, the model tips when you go that deep. But if you would have the outriggers, you could see even with one outrigger, it doesn't tip. And this one will reach to the bottom of the floor. So it's just a huge model. I'll stretch it up high now. It goes extremely high, much higher than the other one. It goes as tall as my Manitalk 16,000. Obviously not with all the boom, but extremely tall. And with a mixer, that's how it looks. And this is one of my favorites that's sold because it's a Mac, and I live in America and I see a lot of Macs, and especially a lot of Mac pumpers. I don't really see, you know, a Freightliner or a Kenworth or a Peterbilt pumper because Mac offers the cab over. So folding it in, and this one also has the metal hose. This one isn't as flexible because it's thicker due to the bigger size, but it also is pretty flexible. I need to fold it in. See, the turntable has a little trouble like that. You gotta get the weight off it. So there's a couple flaws on this model. Definitely not, you know, not make it worth to buy, but you have to keep in mind it does have that, and if you get the model and it has that, it's just the way it's made. There's nothing you can do about it. You could go as far as to replace those pins, but me personally, I'm not going to do that, especially since I already have the pins painted the perfect color of the boom, and it's just an awesome model. Huge model too, huge pumper. They retail for around 150, I mean 190. So if I had the option, if I didn't have neither, and I could get either the small one for 150 or the bigger one for 190, I would definitely spend the extra $40 because at the end of the day, the Mac is more worth it than the little 36-meter one. It's because of its size, and the size does make a large difference. And they're both 150 at scale, and you can see the difference in size of the cab. So I plan on getting more of these pumpers. Like I was saying, I plan on getting more of these pumpers. I don't exactly know when, because I just placed 2 orders of models and they equaled over $1,200. So I'm a little low on money, so don't know when I'm gonna get them, but eventually you will see more of these pumpers in my collection because they're such cool models, and although they all are similar, they're just awesome models to have. And that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you liked the review. If you could find one of these, grab it if you have the money and you're interested in these pumpers. They sell a more detailed one. I don't think the back is more detailed as in the pumper, but the cab actually says Mac on it, and I think it has thinner mirrors. And the other one, which is a 47-meter, has 2 cylinders to lift the boom here, but obviously they're smaller. I like the larger one. So there you go, guys. Hope you liked it. And if you want to see pictures of it, link is in the description.